Joining us now is Syeda from Stop Trump Coalition. Thank you for sharing your time. So talk to us about what you have planned.
So the Stop Trump Coalition is mobilising all across the country. Now that Trump is in Scotland, we have activists in Scotland who are hosting protests in Aberdeen and in Edinburgh. And they're very busy there. They're all mobilising against Trump's authoritarianism, against his support for Putin and Netanyahu, against his attacks on migrants. And we're here to stand for an alternative world order where we believe in equality for everyone across the world and all humanity, and to say that we are the resistance to the rising fascism that Trump is leading across the globe.
What do you make of the security that's had to be put in place to allow him to be able to come?
Well, all presidents and heads of governments have security, and that's just normal for them. What we're here to do is protest against his horrific attacks around the world. He's destroying world security and world peace, and we're here to stand for true peace and justice for everyone around the globe.
On your website, you want to also say no to his state visit, which is going to take place in September. Would you rather he never visited the UK at all?
Of course, and it's really humiliating that Keir Starmer has welcomed this authoritarian man who has put huge tariffs across the globe and has also put a 10% tariff on the UK economy, which is really hurting people. It's not that this is a great guy that we should be having as an ally. He's someone that we really need to stand up to. The EU has put retaliatory tariffs on the USA, and so have other countries. So the UK actually needs to do more to actually say, no, Trump, what you're doing is unacceptable, and we're not going to cozy up to you and extend a hand. We're actually going to stand up to you and stand with the other countries around the world who are also standing up to Trump, because that's how we defeat someone like this, who is completely ripping up the world order and threatening and bullying everyone, threatening to annex Canada. And we're seeing these horrible images of starvation coming out of Gaza. And yesterday, Trump said that Israel needs to finish the job. What on earth is this? This is pure evil. And now is the time for people to rise up and say that we do not stand for this kind of politics and we want to build an alternative world order.
You say about standing up and defeating the president, but I'm just looking. He secured 77 million votes in the election in 2024. The challenge for you is that he was democratically elected, and millions of people in the US and people in the UK will support him. And how do you go about balancing the fact that there are many people that gave him a mandate to do and say what he does?
Well, firstly, voter turnout in both the USA and across many European liberal democracies is quite low. And if you look at all of the figures, in fact, the majority of people didn't vote for Trump. And it's the same here. The majority of people didn't actually vote for Starmer. It's just that the electoral system gives all of the power to one party because they get the most votes, but not the majority. And so our electoral systems are broken and they need to change. The people who voted for Trump, some of those people are voting for him because of his populist rhetoric, what he's saying about putting America first, because we've had a neoliberal world order that has actually really damaged and destroyed people's lives. We've had this huge cost of living crisis. We've had people like in very low paid jobs. And in some ways, Trump's populism and his talk of system change appeals to them for that reason. But actually, Trump represents the corporate interests. He represents the billionaire oligarchy. And the actions that he's taking is enriching his rich friends, and they're not helping ordinary people. And people are seeing that more and more. And we're seeing that repeated across different governments, like our current government in the UK as well, is not really doing enough to help people lift them out of poverty and to take on the big corporate interests. And that's what Stop Trump Coalition is saying, that we need to stand up to the billionaire oligarchy and we need to bring power and wealth back to ordinary people.
Is a way, though, of standing up as you wish to do so, not... Is doing so by having those conversations, by saying, don't come to this country, don't have that relationship with Sir Keir Starmer, for example. That gets rid of the opportunity, does it not, to have those conversations, to try and push back, to try and bring about the changes that you're looking for. You know, he is the President of the United States. It's kind of impossible not to have a relationship and a dialogue with him, surely.
Trump doesn't listen to anyone. He's an unpredictable bully. He invited Zelensky over and treated him awfully. He's siding with Putin. He's forcing a really exploitative critical minerals deal on Ukraine. He says one thing one day and then another thing another day. It really makes no difference, and we've seen that already. It was the day after Keir Starmer extended this state visit to Trump that he treated Zelensky in the way that he did. And we can see now that this kind of nice softly diplomacy with Trump doesn't work. He's just not going to listen. We have to stand up to him.
Seema Syeda from the Stop Trump Coalition, thank you for sharing your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you.